So calling to order the January 3rd, 2023 Elyria Planning Commission meeting. And we will start with a roll call. And it is 11:01, so we'll start with a roll call.
Tom Aden, Sam Battle,
Here.
Barry Hubbard, Jim Onderko,
Here.
Dawn Calvert,
Here.
Mayor Whitfield,
Here.
Derek Tedrow.
Here.
So we do have a quorum for today's meeting, and we'll ask our one hearing if they would like to proceed, though we don't have a full body. We do have a quorum. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes. And I have a recommendation once we get to the discussion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Battle. Is there a second?
Second.
For discussion, the one piece I saw, just for a point of clarity, on the second item of business, it mentions that I entertained a motion to approve, when actually I just entertained a motion to get it on the floor, and that motion was denied. So I'd like the record to make sure it reflects that the motion was just to get it on the floor. I was entertaining a motion to get on the floor. And Mr. Taylor, when it comes to these minutes, I want you to spend some time talking with our secretary about what needs to be reflective in these minutes, you know, whether the language and what it should say on there so that it's clear when we're just getting something on the floor, what's the vote count, especially when something is denied. I think that's important. All right, any other discussion? All right, does the motion and second concur with the change that I proposed? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Hearing any other discussion? Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have one public hearing today, and that's for Rita's Italian Ice, located at 38535 Chestnut Ridge Road, requesting a variance pursuant to Chapter 1174.10 of the Elyria Codified Ordinance to allow for a sign larger than the ordinance allows. If there's someone from Rita's Italian Ice here, could you please state your name and address for the record and introduce yourself in the project?
Sure. My name is Phil Seguin. I represent Micah 68 LLC, which is the operator of the Rita's Italian Ice at the location proposed. Mark, I had a few handouts. It looks like they've got them there, but we were here, I think, in November because the project required a few variances that we received from the city. Subsequently, we received our temporary banner or sign from the sign company, and we realized it was, way too small for the location. There was an existing sign, and there's some discoloration on the face of the building that the small sign doesn't cover up. So I called the sign company and asked for a larger version of the sign, which you can see on the screen. I've got some handouts there. But apparently that ran afoul of the local ordinance, so we're requesting a variance to put a larger sign in.
Thank you, sir. And Chief Farkas, do you have a report on this, or is this strictly designed with Director Scott?
Mr. Chair, I do through you. This is zoning. The property is currently zoned business neighborhood, the sign requirements of which are located in Section 1174.10 of the Codified Ordinance. I'll start with the awning. The awning is proposed to have two signs, which is to be on the west side of the structure. The cumulative square footage is at 24.11 square feet in size. Per Section 1174.10 2B only permits one sign per tenant space. Proposal indicates three signs. This is including the one on the front and the two on the awning. And it indicates that with the combined max square footage, it will far exceed the proposed. Code permits 50 square feet. Signage on the front of the building and the two on the awning all total about 83.51 square feet. So they're over about 30 square feet. Number two, the proposed wall-mounted sign on the north side of the structure is now indicated at 59.4 square feet. First submittal on 8/16/22 indicated 23.06 square feet. So they've made it much larger. I indicated the zoning was not approved and a variance was needed per Section 1174.10 2B1 as the maximum size permitted is 30 square feet per sign face. My recommendations, I am in favor of this sign request.
Thank you, Chief Farkas. To our presenter, as was mentioned before, we have a quorum today, but we don't have a full body. Would you like to still proceed with the quorum we have?
Yes, I would, please.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission? Go.
Yeah, specifically, is there a reason that the requirements can't be met? Is it just based on how the logo and the graphics and what's keeping you from hitting the requested size?
It's really two things. It's number one, a visibility issue. There's a logo that says Ice Custard Happiness. That's kind of the franchise's logo. It's just, you can't even read it from the road with the way the sign was originally done. And then secondly, as I mentioned, there was an existing sign there that was quite a bit larger, and there's some discoloration that we're trying to cover up. So we thought it just fit better with, what had been there and, appearance-wise, the way it looked, in addition to the visibility, which was important to us.
Thank you. When do you foresee this new sign being installed?
Well, our grand opening, we did have kind of a trial run just to learn how to operate the store for a few weeks here in November and December. But our grand opening is scheduled for March 1st. I don't know if they're going to have it installed by then. There's all kinds of supply chain issues right now, and they're saying 8 to 10 weeks production time, and they won't put it in production until the city gives, approval.
Yep. Any other questions from the commission? Anything? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor, I know it's foolish, but we still have to say.
Oh, shoot, yeah, I'm sorry. Are there any proponents? Are there any other proponents out there? Are there any opponents? Any opponents out there? All right, thank you. Yeah, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Jim, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dawn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There is no other business. There's one other thing I did want to ask. In terms of these sort of issues, do we think when we do this comprehensive land use plan that stuff like this might get addressed in that process of how tight or how loose something should be in terms of our zoning requirements with signs and whatnot?
When it's done, assuming administration and then council would approve, you can give some more discretion to the two people to my left here as their departments, how far that is, would it have to be addressed in the rewrites, so that certain times of Daryl, if it's 10, let's make an idea, signs 15% over or something like that. Sign, the two of them could say, we approve that, that could be done. Right now, it's not in our ordinances, so we have to come here.
Gotcha. What do you think about that, Chief Farkas?
I think some much-needed latitude is absolutely required on this. Again, a lot of these zoning ordinances were written very strict mindsets. In this particular instance, the code square footage permitted for a sign is based on the building width or tenant space. This tenant space is only like 20 feet wide, very restrictive. And as the proponent mentioned, the old sign, Hershey's, was much larger. Now, Hershey's, they did it without a permit. It was non-conforming. But as soon as you take it down and start over, you have to follow the rules and comply. I think there is some wiggle room that we need to adjust to accommodate for these existing, what I call tenant slips, that are very restricted. I can also see taking Chestnut Commons, Walmart strip, you go down there, you see all these different signs. The intent is to keep it fair, so everybody has the same kind of advertising capability, instead of having these very large, massive signs. I can see the intent, but I do believe there is some wiggle room as well.
That's great, great insight. Any other thoughts from the commission? Hey, how y'all doing over there?
Can you just take it as a percentage versus an actual, allowing a certain amount of square foot, can it just be, plus or minus 10% or something like that, tolerance?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I think that is a great idea to allow some kind of grace, because had that been in there, I would have approved it.
Well, that's what we're doing this planning effort for, and let's hope that some of these things we can get addressed along the way, to make life a little easier for our businesses as well as ourselves. So if there's no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Derek, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Jim. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.